That's right, 98.9 Northwest FM. You're on CarTorque with Matty J. Another Tuesday night and another guest. I'm in the studio with Alex. How you going, Alex?
I'm going good. How are you going?
Not bad. This is your first time on the radio?
Yes, it is. I'm very nervous.
Very nervous. Don't be nervous, man. It's all good. All G. And of course, we're back in the studio with now my how would you say it? My young Padawan or
young apprentice,
apprentice Jedi, James, who you guys know. He's doing the training program here and going to have his own show very shortly. So so he's going to be sticking in for the next probably few weeks and sussing out how I use the board and how I do a couple of things on the show. But yeah. So
you're my Yoda.
Yeah. I'm touched, really. Just to be called in the same vicinity as Yoda is pretty special. Look, so we're talking tonight with Alex. I thought I'd bring him on because one, he's a top bloke, and two, his car is the most indestructible car I've ever seen.
It's the easiest way to sum it up. It is indestructible.
Well, explain to the good people of the world what you have.
All right, so on my 17th birthday, me and my dad were on our way to a footy match, and we're driving down Melrose Drive, standard Tullamarine main strip, and there's a nice 2001 AU Falcon on the side of the road. So we stopped, just had a little look. Dad's like, oh, it's pretty cheap. I might ring the bloke. So Dad rang the bloke, checked it over, and he's like, nah, buy it. So I bought my first car the day after my 17th birthday. And now, 2.5 years later, I have done 60,000 Ks on it and also put it through its paces on multiple occasions.
Now, these occasions, to put in perspective, we'll just show you how tough the AU in general as a car is. What he's done to it. Well, big question is, what hasn't he done to it? We'll put in perspective of, one, in how smart he was in choosing this as a first car. And two, that, first cars that don't have to be cheap and unreliable, but they can be cheap and reliable. So,
Definitely.
So you had that the case with obviously the AU. So it's a Series 2, I believe.
Series 3.
Oh, it's a Series 3.
Series 3. So
okay.
2001, and it cost me $999.
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Hey, I got electric windows in the front. That's all you need.
That's what you need. And you've got, I remember I helped you put the speakers in it.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Matty J knows his way around a car quite well. He helped me put in the back speakers, which was a lot of fun.
6x9s?
Yep. Still going strong now.
So at least you didn't set your car on fire, which is usually what happens. Yeah. Whenever I wrench on something. But yeah. So you've told us how you've had the car, how you bought the car.
Yep.
To get the car roadworthy, because you need to do a few things.
Yep.
You obviously have to do a couple of jobs, which you were explaining to me about. But just to show how dedicated he is to this car, I'll check it on our Facebook page at Matty J, CarTorque with Matty J on Facebook. Give us a like and give us a message. He has brought in pretty much the whole pedigree of the car. Yeah,
every receipt, every service, the owner's manual I got with the car, as well as the fleet drivers, because it was a fleet car, I got the fleet driver's manual. That's pretty much impressive. Just everything, for a first car that I got given with the car, and it's just stayed in a blue folder the entire time I've had it.
And you know what, Alex, even though you've pretty much destroyed this car, if you were coming to sell it, that is a good selling point.
I've realized that as much as, I've got all the stuff to sell my car, no one's probably going to buy it.
Well, look, it doesn't look that bad. It's got a few scrapes and scratches here and there, but it's a first car. But, give us an insight into your first foray to, let's just say, off-roading.
All right. Probably would have been, so it was in my first year of uni. I've turned 18. I've got my P's. So what do you do with your boys? You go camping. So me and 3 mates decided to head up to Yarrawonga to go camping for a weekend.
Oh, yep.
So obviously I'm on red P, so I didn't overload. There was 2 cars taken, and the other car was a GQ Patrol, which is one of my favourite cars, as well as like an AU. It is very indestructible.
Yep.
So we've got those 2 cars. We've gone camping. We're in a bush site just on the Murray River. I'm taking it through puddles and mud and everything at about 40, 45 k's an hour because at that point I'm an idiot and don't care about the car. So it is shaking. It is vibrating a lot. My mate in the passenger seat is getting thrown around. And then I decided to get a bit ambitious and go in a bit of mud that, looking back on, probably should have avoided, but obviously I didn't because it's all for a story. So I got stuck and I had to get the patrol to pull me out. The only, I'm doing this in quotation marks, the only damage I got from that little incident was I lost one of the front lip sort of rubber things that go at the bottom of the...
Where the fog lights normally are.
Yeah. So where the fog lights are, they're just a little plastic rubber clip. So I lost that. Luckily saw it came off, picked it up, right as rain. Now, me and my mates were like, we're a bit sick of camping here, so we decided to go to my mate's property in Ngambie. We go to Ngambie, all good. It's a bit wet up there, but, we're staying on the tracks there. We're all good. I decided to get firewood with my car. We load up the boot with firewood. We're coming back. I decided I'll take a shortcut across the green, which obviously looks green, but was quite deceiving. Bogged it. And by bogged it, I was at least, my tyres were well and truly in because obviously idiot Alex again decided to try and get out of it by revving the car, which obviously dug it deeper.
Mate, put you in further. Yep.
So we got the GQ out and we were getting my car out, but because there was actually a little bit more damage from earlier, because I'd hit the bottom so rough when I was when I went to the campsite, my bottom lip part had fell down, so we couldn't see the hitch point on the front of the car. So we're like, all right, we'll just use the tow bar. As the GQ tries to take me out, the GQ gets bogged because it's spinning. We've got it in four-wheel drive. We've got the diffs locked. We've done everything, and the GQ is bogged. So we are stuck in the. I say Ngambie because that's the closest town. It's between Ngambie and Murchison, but we are stuck, and we are up a certain creek without a paddle. So we ring family members. We ring. I tried ringing the SES, but I thought that was probably a bit much. Rang RACV roadside assistance. They came in a two-wheel drive ute with about 2 tons worth of material in the back of it. So that bloke just pretty much said good luck and turned around and left.
No way. He
couldn't do anything. He just looked at us and he's like, my car will go straight in and we've gotten, he's like, there's no point. And I'm like, oh, well, that's awesome. So luckily my mate's dad came up. He brought a Max Track. He's got a Kingswood ute that's lifted on a Land Rover chassis.
That's
so
cool.
It is, I'll get a photo of it and send it to you.
Yeah.
It is tough and it is capable. Awesome. But all we needed was Max Tracks. So we put the Max Tracks underneath the GQ, got the GQ out, got my AU out because his dad is a mechanic with RACV. So he knows there's a hitch point on the front.
Yep.
So he's done that and we've gotten me out. That was probably That was the first sort of real off-roading experience my car had and was only let down by me, of course. The service when I came back was over $1,000 because of all the things I'd done to the car.
Things like, I'm guessing, suspension bushes, probably shocks.
No, luckily I missed suspension, even though it was very squeaky at the time. Didn't need replacing. So I've got a new spark plug. I got a front... Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry. I got a fuel filter. I got a drive belt and tensioner pulleys. Oh, yeah, sorry, I did get supplied and fitted front heavy-duty gas shockers. Now, keep in mind, these are heavy-duty gas shockers. Just that'll come in handy later on. And I also needed new front wheel bearing hub assembly. So that was...
Sound like a fun experience off-road.
Oh, it was a hell of a lot of fun until we got stuck. So that was the first sort of foray.
Yep. Into taking the AU off-road. Look, we're going to go to our first break of the night. We're going to come back with some more interesting stories about this AU. You'll have to hear it to appreciate how tough this old Falcon is. But look, if you've got any tough cars of your own, send us a text on 0447 777 989. That's 0447 777 989. Let us know about your car. That's right, 98.9 Northwest FM. You're back on CarTorque with Matty J. This is the community's car show for the Northwest. Amongst our other great shows we got on community radio. So stay tuned. We've still got more than half a show to go, and we're still in the studio with Alex. Your first foray into off-roading didn't consist of a proper off-roader, did it, Alex?
Well, I mean, most off-roaders get stuck when they go out anyway. So realistically, I felt like the AU was punching above its own weight with me behind the wheel anyway. So I was, relatively impressed with it. I mean, it gets the job done.
It held its own. Its own. So I remember the first time I went in the AU. You picked me up, and we went for like a target crew get together.
Yeah.
For inverted DA boys.
Yeah.
And dude, it's a smooth car.
It
drives
is
really
very nice. Like my mum's had Commodores all her life. The second she drove my car, she's like, it's really smooth.
Yeah.
Like it's got really comfy seats. Like everyone who hops in sinks in a good way. Like it's not like it's a crap seat and you just sink. It's, quite cushiony, quite comfortable. It's a decent size. It's obviously, family size car, got the 2 child, restraints in the back if you need. But yeah, no, it's a very comfortable, smooth car to drive.
Is that a hint for your future with your partner?
Oh, you got to think about those things sometimes, but obviously you got to focus on the now before the future.
On the now, and the now is the AU, the indestructible AU.
Yeah, very much
indestructible AU, I should say. So, but basically, the reason why I have to get you on is because at work you tell me all the time of your forays off road in this car, and the amount of abuse this thing takes is just insane.
It does love to get thrashed. And actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I don't thrash it. I just take it in spots where it should not be taken. And you know what? It's realistically only let me down a handful of times. So, as a cheap budget off-roader, it's not bad.
Cheap budget off-road. Well, I was thinking what you could do, you could put like that, you were even telling me last week, RTV gear in it. That'd be
fun. I've seen a few AU wagons that have been lifted and got like the full RTV treatment.
Diff lock as well.
Yeah. It's very tempting, but on the other hand, it's the first car. Keep it stock standard apart from the obvious, 18-year-old male P-plater, change the speakers and change the head unit.
Yep, you have to do those things. It's $500 car, $5,000 sound system. I was very much the same with my first car. I think James remembers my first car. Mm-hmm. It was pretty stupid. Yeah, but so you were telling me you pretty much submerged it.
Well, yeah. So as you do, you test out your car. I've gone to go camping in the same spot as Yarrawonga as I did the first time it, had its proper off-road berth. So we've gone to go there and no luck. It's been closed because it's the wet season. This only happened a couple of months ago. So we're like, all right, we'll just keep heading down the Murray Valley Highway until we can find a campsite we can camp at. We find one that's sort of open. We sleep there for one night and then the next day me and my mate head into a Chuka. So I've got family there. So, it's, not too bad if I do get stranded.
Yep.
We're going down this spot where my mate had camped before. We going through, some puddles, like testing the AU out. Mind you, it's got a trailer on the back that's fully loaded. Do you want me to explain the bogging before this, the night before, or do you want me to?
Yeah.
All right. So the night before we made it to Yarrawonga, we stopped at my mate's property because we're like, all right, there's some things we want to pick up. I'm driving along. We're like, all right, I should probably turn around because I'm not going to make it past this track. Go to do a U-turn. Diddly squat, get stuck. And we're like, looked at each other and we're just like,
profanity.
It's happened again. Really? Pretty much in the exact same sort of terrain as we did the first time. So it's, it looked like grass. As soon as I went on it, because I had the extra weight in the rear, sunk straight in. Me and my mate spent the next probably hour and a half trying to dig it out. Mind you, this was when the census was happening. We had a census guy come onto the property in a 4-wheel drive Hilux, sees us bogged there, does a U-turn and leaves.
No.
They did hop out and ask if anyone lived here, but then they just looked at us and went, you're on your own pretty much. Me and my mate are looking at each other like, the Aussie ways you at least offer.
Yeah.
They were in a Hilux. It's a 4B, and it left us gobsmacked. So we called RACV again. This time, however, we got this absolute gem of a bloke with a 4-wheel drive ute. chuck the trailer, because we took the trailer off to try and pull it out. We chuck the trailer back on, and this guy takes us out in no worries at all. We're out. We're on our way. My car is filled with mud at this point because both of us were getting in and out of the car while stepping on the mud. So it's definitely in need of a clean.
Yep.
Fast forward the next day, we're in the campsite. We've found a camp spot. It is absolutely perfect. All right, awesome. What do we need? We need firewood. I've got a trailer. I've got a car. Let's get out. Let's go out of the campsite. Now, ambitious Alex is like, I actually thought of this before we left. I'm like, maybe we should walk a route to see how we're actually going to get out. But who does that? I mean, really. So we hop in the car. We're driving along. We go through a bit of puddles and stuff. I'm like, get to this part where there's a bit of a bog hole. I'm like, nah, she'll be right. I looked at my mate and he's like, you're probably going to get bogged. I'm like, So, gunned it forward. Turns out it's a bit steeper than I thought. So at this point, the car's stopped. It's, for better parts of a word, the left-hand side of the car is currently swimming. And it's on, I know the viewers, the listeners can't see this, but it's on an angle about probably 45 degrees. Yep. So the front left side of the car is in the water. Now, I've been bogged before, so I'm like, no worries, no issues. We'll get out somehow. Next thing we see, my mate's feet are getting wet because water's pouring into the car. So once that happened, it was sort of, well, hang on, let's hit the panic button and figure this out because we are really, really in trouble right now. So we're trying to get it out using the Max Tracks because we took them with us. Absolutely no luck at all. We're going to need to get towed out. So I'm running around this camp area. No cars around. There's a camper next door to us. They don't have a car. Luckily enough, this absolute gem of a bloke in a Ford Ranger comes in, fully kitted out. He's got all the gear. He's got a winch. He's got everything. Proper 4B.
He's been at ARB pretty much.
Yeah, it's got ARB everything, as well as a tray full of, equipment to get out. So he's like, I'll get you out. So he comes around, pulls me out. So I'm just sitting there. He does manage to scrape the side of my car because he pulled me out and there was a tree there. So luckily I managed to put my rear view mirror on the side in. Otherwise it would have lost that. So at this point my car is currently got a good probably 10 to 12 mils of water in the front left seat rest. So actually, let me put it in perspective.
In the footwell, basically.
So it's actually gone over the seat foot, like where the seat is, because obviously the seat's raised. So the water's gone above that. So there are lines still on my car, the door trims of showing how high the water is. It was above my, what do you call the sort of pocket area in the door?
Door pocket.
Yeah, so the door pocket. Yeah. The water was above the door pocket.
Far out.
That's for some perspective for people with cars that are similar to the AU.
It was deep.
So it was very deep. So we get it out, trying to crank it over, getting nothing. So old mate with the Ranger, he's got a crap load of WD-40. So what does he do? We open the bonnet and we just spray the absolute shockers out of it. So we spray all parts of the engine. He's just going to town on it. He's got no mechanical knowledge, but he knows what a can of WD-40 does. So we're just spraying everywhere in the car, hoping and praying. So my mate rings his dad, who's obviously an RACV mechanic. He rings him, and he's giving him all these complex instructions of things to do. And my mate's just like, I've got no hope of doing this. Give it a little bit, trying to get it turn over. Doesn't turn over. Eventually, how is beyond me. Turn it on and it starts. It is running rough. It sounds like a tractor kind of, like that's the level sort of noise that we're thinking. It turns over, get it chugging, get out of there, take it back to the campsite. And because we're on sort of a hilly part, I park it on an angle to try and get as much water out as possible. This doesn't quite work as well as I thought, so I had to scoop out water. But there was a lot of water in the car. Scooped it all out. It's still, if you sit in my car now, a couple of months later, if you push hard enough on the footwell, then water sort of comes back up. But yeah, so after we started it, I got the, I don't know if anyone's got a Ford out there. They've got the Ford, the hand that stops people starting the car. Yeah, the immobilizer. So the immobilizer's flashing at me. Got the right key and all that. Immobilizer flashes at me. It flashes at me for the next month and a half until one day it decides to stop flashing. So I don't know what the car's done to itself, but it's repaired itself,
In other words, the electrics have kind of said, you know what, I've had enough, but I'll come back when I feel like it. And
Pretty
it's come
much.
back, and the AU lives again.
Well, I mean, it is remarkable that it actually turned on. Obviously, we turned it on. It's, running rough. Fair to say I'm probably going to need a new muffler well, actually, no. My girlfriend keeps telling me you need to get a new muffler or a new car. But obviously, she still turns on. Still only takes $60 to fill the tank. Then I'm going to keep driving it. But I have obviously decided that I'm probably going to stop servicing it and just see what happens.
See what happens. Well, that is a testament, if I don't know what is, to Ford Australia.
Pretty much.
For building a car that pretty much has just been sunk. And it still goes.
It's the only problem with it now is you can hear it from a mile away because the muffler is absolutely shot. And obviously, I replaced those shockers in, I think, 2014. I am now currently in need of another set thanks to the speed humps in Gladstone Park. Shout out to Hume for that.
Shout out to Gladdy Park for their speed humps, which are just never fun.
And never ending.
Never ending. You were telling me to get to footy, it's like 21 speed humps.
That's if I choose the quick, again, in inverted commas, the quick route, but obviously Mascoma Street, if anyone knows, has about 17, and then there's another 5 if I go down Mascoma Street from my house, which is just, I actually am thinking of sending a letter to the council and being like, look, I've had to replace my suspension on multiple times. Can you credit me at the very least? I mean, it's your speed humps that are causing the damage to my car, so.
Pretty much. Look, I was going to say, it's a credit to WD-40.
Yeah, that part is very astonishing. Like, that's all I don't know whether maybe it just dried itself out as well, but like the WD-40 definitely, did something.
As James says, it's like duct tape and WD-40.
Yeah, that's what duct tape and WD-40 hold the world together.
It's amazing stuff. It's quality stuff, that is. But like, I was thinking about, this reminds me of another story, how indestructible your AU is, because you had this and you've had like 100 million other stories of just...
I could talk for a while about my stories with the AU.
We could talk about it in the next like 10 weeks. We should just call it, car AU talk. Remember when Top Gear took a Hilux and they pretty much put it on fire, dropped it from a 30-story building, put it in the sea?
I remember watching that episode as a kid, and I'm like, I want that car.
You have it in a shortened version.
Yeah, pretty much. Just no ground clearance and no, diff. But apart from that, it's pretty much a Hilux.
Well, what's astonishing to me is that you've taken it off road, like you've taken a proper full-wheel driving.
I go camping in it all the time. Like I go motorbike riding up in around the Wombat State Forest area, and also up in King Lake. And you know what? It loves gravel. It loves it. Like it just eats it up.
and that's a good thing, because like a lot of other cars, because obviously the Falcon and Commodore and even like some of the Toyota made stuff here, it's built for the terrain here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I had a friend. I've got a friend. He listens to the show. He was telling me he went to the Outback, and pretty much all you see there is just either 4-wheel drives or AUs.
Wow.
No BS. It's just 4-wheel drives and AUs.
Jeez, that's crazy.
So when he told me that, he's like, yeah, because parts are cheap, they're easy to work on, and they just do not give up. So it is a testament to the AU. Yeah. So I can't. A lot of taxi drivers as well, just getting back on the AU point, have said that the AU was probably one of the most reliable cars. They've seen them tick over twice. Even.
I would say I'm a part of the AU Falcon fan page on Facebook, and some of the ex-taxis that get thrown up there with 700, 800, 900,000 Ks, and you just sit there and you're like, why doesn't Ford do this with the new ones? Like the amount of abuse. And obviously, in the old days they made them stronger and whatever, but it is ridiculous how much abuse a two-wheel drive rear-wheel drive car will, it's getting me to places that
it shouldn't.
That passengers are going, you need to turn around. I'm like, nah, she'll be right. And you know what? She always is.
I'm going to be sad when you let that car go. Because
I don't think I'm going to be able to. I've had this discussion with my partner, and she's like, you will have to get rid of it eventually. I'm like, I don't think I will, though. Like, as you said, the parts of that cheap that I could probably
Just keep it going.
Keep it going forever.
And yeah, and that's the good thing about like show-made cars. Parts are cheap, and like if you were to do the same thing in like a European car, forget about
God, no.
it. You'd be scared to even touch gravel. So
Yeah.
But yeah, look, we're going to go to another song. Have another quick break of the night. We're going to I forgot the name of the song now. Azari and 3. It's called, the song's called "Reckless with Your Love." This is good track. This one of Forza. So here's Azari with "Reckless with Your Love."
I'm so thirsty for some gutsy social issues. That's why I listen to Morning Magazine each day on 98.9 Northwest FM.
Hi, it's Gary here from The Party Connection. I'm here every second Saturday night playing all your favourite songs from the 70s, 80s, 90s and today. It's The Party Connection, Saturday nights from 8 on 98.9 Northwest FM.
Delivering the widest variety of music in town. This is your local station, 98.9 Northwest FM.
That's right, 98.9 Northwest FM. You're back on CarTorque with Matty J. We are for the community. Stay tuned. After the show, we've got Stratos coming in with Street Hustle, so really good listening, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, we're still in the studio with Alex. So Alex is demonstrating how tough a Ford AU Falcon can be.
Very, very tough.
Very indestructible. So it's quiz time.
Yep.
But before we get to that, I'm going to ask you, all right, say, for example, if the abuse the AU takes, it just says no more, and you have to get another car, what would you probably get?
Well, I have been thinking about that ever since the first time I took it off-road, and I'm like, well, I wonder if I go off-road a lot, I should probably get something that's four-wheel drive.
Yep.
So I have been looking at actually a handful of cars, but basically either a Nissan Patrol, because obviously the GQ is also known for its indestructible abilities, also possibly a Land Cruiser, and also possibly a Navara.
Yep.
But then obviously on the flip side, I'm like, well, I'm young. Let's get, something flashy like a XR6 or something, just to have a bit of fun with.
Of course, like I think it's a big people car now, the XR6 as well. So
yeah, definitely.
But having said that, my brother's a P-plater and he's got a big 4B. So, but he had his fun with an XR6 as well. So
yeah,
he's had a fair few cars over the years. But what would be your dream car then? If I know the AU is your dream car, but theoretically speaking, what would be your dream car?
Well, actually, my dream car has always been around the 2000 Toyota Hilux SR5 dual cab ute. That was the car I thought I would first get. Obviously, it didn't happen, but obviously I'm kind of glad that it did, because obviously a 4B is a bit more of a money pit than a nice cheap Falcon.
Yep.
But yeah, that would definitely make me very happy if I one day ended up with a Hilux.
Yeah, I reckon that's a good realistic dream car. It is. As we know from Top Gear, the Hiluxes, pretty much you cannot kill them. So
exactly,
it is a good dream car to have. The newer ones are a bit plasticky for my liking.
Yeah,
but you're right, around the 2000s where they were pretty strong.
They had a nice amount of lift too, so you can pretty much go over anything.
Yeah. I think they were IFS though, but the earlier ones in that model, like the Series 1s had the live axle front end, so they were pretty much strong as an ox.
Yeah, exactly.
But look, it's quiz time, Alex.
Oh,
are you nervous?
Yeah, I am. Hoping to do well.
Hoping to do well. Well, look, I've I've got 10 questions for you. So basically how it goes, it's you get 10 questions. So obviously we count out how many you get right.
Yep.
And you go onto our leaderboard.
Yep.
So as you can hear now, we've got our dramatic music playing.
Just to add some more
tension.
Tension.
I like the word tension, Alex. Tension. All right. Question 1. What car company closed manufacturing in Australia on Friday?
Well, if I don't get this right, then there's something wrong. Ford, Australia.
Ford Australia. That's correct. Question 2. True or false? The Barra engine is a single overhead cam.
True.
It's false. It's twin cam. Question 3. Name 2 types of lift when lifting a car.
So like body and like
So body's 1.
body kit, and then the other one is just a suspension lift.
Suspension lift. That's correct. Yeah. Question 4. Top Gear tried to kill a four-wheel drive doing a series of challenges to it. What vehicle was it? I wonder if you this one.
I'm pretty sure it was a mid-1980s Toyota Hilux, and it was a red space cab with a black bull bar on it.
That's correct. That's pretty much spot on. All right. Question 5. The Jaguar XJ220 had how many cylinders?
8.
No, that's a 6. What engine was that car supposed to come out with?
An 8.
No, it was supposed to go with a V12. Question 7. What does locking the hubs do?
Locking the hubs? I'm pretty sure it gives more power to the front wheels, doesn't it?
Nah, what it does when you lock the hubs on a four-wheel drive is it locks it to the drive. It locks it to the drive. So when you put it in four-wheel drive, it locks in there, and it pretty much allows it to be in four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Where are we? Question 8. HSV announced they are bringing back an old name with their new car that's about to be released. What is it called?
Sandman?
Nah, the GTSR. Question 9. What does low range do?
Low range? Well, it stops the car from revving too much, so you stay like around the 20 k's an hour. So it's for when you're seriously off-roading.
Yeah, it's to use the engine's torque down low. Yeah, I'll give you that. Question. Was that question 9? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question 10. What do diff lockers do?
Diff lockers. So a diff locker, doesn't that let you lock the diff from inside the car?
Yeah.
So you don't have to hop out and spin the hubs?
Well, I'll give you half a point. What they do when you lock it allows the wheels to spin at the same rate.
Okay.
So they slip at the same time, spin at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'll give you 0.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Not bad, Alex. Not bad. 4.5. That's a respectable score, don't you think, James? James is going to jump on the mic.
Sorry, I had my mic off. Yeah, no, what was it, 4.5?
4.5.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
That's not a bad score.
You should have given me another AU question, not a Barra question.
If I ever did the quiz, I get 0, so...
You have done it once. You didn't do too bad, but 4.5's not too bad, actually. That's not too bad. So look, we'll get to our listeners again. So 0447777 That's 0447777 If you got a story to tell, we'll give you a shout out on the radio. Tell us about your car, and like our Facebook page, CarTorque with Matty J. Be more than happy to respond to your messages, and we're for the community. We're trying to bring the car community together. No matter what car you drive, we are for the enthusiast. That's right, 98.9 Northwest FM. Local issues, always on this station. Tune in every day. We've got great programs here. Look, we're pretty much done for tonight, Alex. Thanks for coming on tonight.
No worries, it was my pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed yourself, because we had a good yarn about your AU. We've got to give some shout outs to all our listeners. We are international. We have got listeners in America and stuff, which is really cool. So shout out to you guys. Thanks again. Tune in next week. This has been CarTorque with Matty J. Take it easy.